How's it going, everybody? This is the Nitty Gritty. My name is Chad. With me, as usual, is Leonard, and this is a show about wrestling. This week, we are talking all things Royal Rumble. We've done a lot of Royal Rumble shows in the past, and we figured we'd have some fun this week. But before we get to our game, let's talk about the fact that the Royal Rumble, as we're recording right now, is going to be this weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So this in past years, Leonard, I would always ask you to watch this with me, and then we would talk about it. But the reason I didn't do that this time is because it costs money now. A little bit, well, at least a lot more than it once did. Do you even have access to watch it?
It's on ESPN, correct?
If you get the right plan, yes.
Okay, I don't know if I have the right plan.
If you do,
so to make a long story short, my wife and I have cut some of our streaming services and regrouped, and we recently went to the Disney Hulu bundle package,
right,
which includes ESPN. I do not know if the Rumble is part of that package, although I did see it advertised on there.
So we also got it. We recently got our internet plan changed, and with it came a bundle that you just described. And it's like, okay, great, all these are in one. I'll be able to watch wrestling. Well, I forget what pay-per-view or PLE it was, but I tried to watch it, and it was like, oh, you need to to subscribe to this tier plan in order to watch the WWE events. And I was like, not doing that. Not because I had already had the plan with no ads, so it was above that. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. Now I can watch it because I mooch off of a friend, but so that's the era we're in right now. And the reason why I am curious to watch this one, the fact that it's in Saudi Arabia, to me, I don't like. But that could be its own show. I think that it'll be interesting to see what the crowd reactions and the crowd atmosphere is going to be, because that's always a huge part of the Royal Rumble. And especially if you believe that some of the surprises that are coming. But in bigger news, Leonard, I don't know if you knew this, but it looks like it could be the end of AJ Styles' career, as he's putting his career on the line against Gunther. I knew that 2026 was his last year. I, like probably many, thought that it would be the entire year. Maybe it still will be. Maybe this is just, he's going to win and it'll be a long run. But I don't know. What do you think about
I don't know. It makes more sense if don't announce it if he's going to win. I'm sorry, I said it backwards. If he's going to lose to Gunther, don't announce this is my retirement year.
Right.
It makes more if he loses and then he retires, because it's very rare for someone to lose a retirement match and stay retired in wrestling. Where this way, if he's announced it and then he loses at the front of the year after us just coming off of the Cena tour, it's very anticlimactic, and I think it would sour some fans. So, but then the flip side of that, you're putting your career on the line when you're going to retire anyway, and then you win. Well, you were going to retire anyway, so. Right. This doesn't make sense.
It's a weird situation.
Not a good idea.
I will say this. I think that whatever he's done, I think he's definitely going to stay done. He has a big family, and he's always struck me as somebody who is very loyal. Like, he stayed with TNA until it didn't make sense to stay at TNA for any reason whatsoever. And he went to WWE, and anytime anybody's mentioned any other company to him, he literally laughs it off. So I think that he's ready to be done soon, whenever that may be. But I am curious to check out that match, at least. I genuinely have no idea who they're going to pick to win either Rumble, because I don't know that they have anybody that I'm really aching to see in the main event.
Right. Again, as we talked about, I don't particularly follow any of the current product. I know you've been following it less and less, and particularly WWE. So, I would have no idea who would be poised to win for either one.
Well, we'll see. if Leonard ends up having the correct plan, maybe we will review it. Who knows?
I will check it out. I'm gonna doubt that we do, but I'm gonna check it out, and if we do have it, I will watch it. I'll let you know.
All right. So the first game we're doing this week is a game that I'm sure many people have seen online, whether it be with wrestling or some other avenue, which is you have a certain amount of money to spend, and then you have different categories of talent, each costing a different amount. Leonard has $15 to spend. I did not put this in the email, Leonard, but you should pick 5 people here.
Okay. No, I do have 5 people. You did not state that because, I mean, technically, you could spend all your money on 3 people.
Right.
Or even get 10 people.
Right. So yeah,
close to it. Okay. I do have 5.
All right, so let's go over what we have here. Our $5 tier, the top tier, Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. Our $4 tier, Ric Flair, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. Our $3 tier, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. Our $2 tier, Yokozuna, Bret Hart, Mr. McMahon, Rey Mysterio, Edge, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre. Our $1 tier, Jim Duggan, Big John Studd, Lex Luger, Chris Benoit, Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, and Jey Uso. Now, you might be asking why all those names. Those are the names of the talent who have won the Royal Rumble match for the men. All of those names, some of them obviously more than once, but those are the names, and that is why we are playing the game, because it's Royal Rumble week. So, Leonard, what's your team?
Couple questions before we get going. Did you make this yourself, or did you find it somewhere?
I made it myself.
And why are the tiers so uneven?
I knew that the top tier had to be only a certain amount of people. And from there, I just kind of eyeballed it, who should go where, so it just kind of became uneven in that way. There are a few people I'm sure you could and maybe will argue should be on a different tier, but
and when you say team, what team? Is it a Survivor Series team? Is it a stable? Is it some sort of a Team Rumble match?
Well, you know what? It could be a Team Rumble match, sure. Or it could just be if you pick a team and I pick a team, it'll be a 10-man Rumble.
Okay, that's okay, fine. So I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down then.
All right.
So I'm gonna take Steve Austin for $5. Only 3-time winner in Rumble history. Start of the Attitude Era. Great worker, great on the mic overall. Clearly a $5 tier guy. I'm gonna go with Steve Austin. Next up, I'm gonna go with Ric Flair. $4. Greatest. Did you want me to do? You want me to do my whole team, right? And you're gonna
absolutely.
Okay, so Ric Flair, $4, greatest Royal Rumble performance of all time, and arguably the greatest Rumble in '92. Won the title in that Rumble. I see why he can be $4 because maybe he wasn't there as long or has as many memorable performances in Rumbles as some other people, but has such a memorable one. Again, great in the mic, great in the ring, main event star for a long time. Ric Flair, $4. Shawn Michaels, $3. That is a steal. I would have had him at $4. He is a 2-time back-to-back, or I should say a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and those wins were back-to-back. I think he's a Rumble all-star. I think he's always puts on memorable performances in the Rumble. Again, an all-time great on the ring, out of the ring, in every which way. So I think Michaels is a little low at $3. Next up, Bret Hart at $2. That's criminal. I would have had Bret at least 3, maybe 4.
Well, in the concept of the Royal Rumble, he's only won once, and that was a co-win.
Yeah. Well, you had a lot of people who have won multiple times.
That's true.
For example, Shawn Michaels won multiple times, and he's under Ric Flair, who won once.
Well, Shawn Michaels is not on the level of any of those other guys, except for maybe Roman Reigns and John Cena.
I would have to look at some of the other names, but I think you had some other double people in the Triple H had won twice, Batista's won twice, Cody Rhodes has won twice. So at first I thought you were putting multiple, and The Undertaker is at $5. He won one time. I didn't even remember it. I had to look it up.
He's The Undertaker, Leonard. You got to put him on top.
Yeah, but if you're talking Rumble, he won one time in 2007 when it didn't matter. So anyway, Bret Hart, I think, is a steal. That's a memorable win. The co-win with Luger, and then he does cash in at WrestleMania and win it. And again,
I
if you're looking
I
overall
stand
career,
by Bret Hart being there. He was co-winner in one of the lowest points in wrestling history.
overall career too. I mean, again, I like. I mean, I'm forming a team of great in-ring performers who are also good outside on the mic. And next up, again, value pick, and we're going to talk about this. And I know you know where I'm going for $1.
I,
Chris Benoit.
okay.
Chris Benoit. You have him at $1 because of who he is.
Okay. So in terms of in-ring talent, perhaps Chris Benoit should be rated higher. I will concede that. But I think that he deserves to be where he is.
Okay. See, because here's the thing. If we were doing a comedy festival, one-day comedy festival, and you would give me Bill Cosby for $1, I'd take Bill Cosby for $1. Because we're just saying he goes up there and he does a set.
Right.
And it's going to be hilarious and it's going to be great. If it's $5, maybe not. See who else is available. But for $1, I would take him. And again, for $1, I think I take Benoit. To him, to me, that is probably the best name as far as being a worker. I mean, he was okay on the mic. Memorable Rumble win. People really wanted him to win the year that he did, and then win the title the year that he did. Great moment with Eddie at WrestleMania when he did. So just saying in-ring work, in-ring performer, and also looking at his Rumble performance the year he won, I think for $1, that's a great value pick. So my team overall is Steve Austin, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Chris Benoit. And that is a Hall of Fame squad right there.
I mean, as long as somebody doesn't take Chris Benoit out from the crowd, I think you got a Hall of Fame squad.
Right. Of course, some of those guys don't get along, and some of the guys do. And I think Stunning Steve Austin works better than Stone Cold Steve Austin in that group. But I like it.
I'll go with my team that does not include any of those names.
Interesting that we drafted completely separate teams. Okay.
No, we didn't. I'm doing this on the fly as you said it because I didn't want to choose any of the same names.
All right. Okay. Because you sent me the list early, I thought it was for me to figure it out before we came on the air, which I did.
Yes, absolutely. I knew that I wasn't going to look at this really that hard until we started recording. So I would pick Hulk Hogan as my number one. Back-to-back winner. He always had, really, as you said with others, really memorable Rumble performances. This was in his heyday. So I would definitely make him my team captain. After that, it's a little bit tougher, but I went with Brock Lesnar as my $4 pick. I think Hogan and Lesnar, two imposing forces, would make a good team. After that, I picked Seth Rollins, actually, because if I'm going to add some quickness to my team, out of the $3 tier, that's who I'm going with if I can't choose Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. And for my $2 tier, I picked Edge. I was close to picking Yokozuna, but I already have Lesnar and Hogan, two big guys, so figure I put Edge in that spot. And for my $1 tier, there really isn't a ton of good names down there, and I'm including Chris Benoit in that. I would pick Lex Luger, I suppose.
I would, you know what? If I were you, I might go Cody Rhodes over Seth Rollins. And for $1, I don't know. Sheamus is probably the best worker for $1.
Out of that group?
Out of that group. If you're not saying Benoit, Del Rio maybe, but I think Del Rio's overrated. So I would probably go Sheamus is the best worker out of the dollar tier.
Okay, well, I would probably put Alberto Del Rio at the top other than Benoit, but interesting. All right. So, Leonard, out of those guys, who would you have as the final two out of all of the guys mentioned?
Of all the guys mentioned, the final two, Hogan Flair makes a lot of sense.
Really? I did not expect you to go that way.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Weren't they the last two? No, it was Flair Sid were the last two
Yeah, yeah.
of the
So
'92. Hogan was third.
initially, I was going to put the runner-up names. I was going to incorporate them somehow in one of our games as well, but I didn't.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was Hogan, Flair, and Sid, and then Sid got Hogan out.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think off of my team, I think Flair makes the most sense to be the last guy, or possibly Austin.
I would.
Hogan Austin would be
Oh,
cool, right?
that's what I mean. If you're good, think about it this way: if they were going to say, you know what, Austin didn't want to have a match with Hogan, didn't think it would be a good match, having them in the ring at the end of a Rumble would be really cool. And like the problem is, people would automatically think that's a teaser for what's to come.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to see that. They actually were in a handicap match together as the Stone Cold and Hollywood Hogan characters. That's on the NWO DVD, by the way.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. I'll check that out. I remember Austin and Scott Hall during the
Yeah,
NWO
this was the
WWF.
NWO versus The Rock and Austin, and
Yeah.
on
Okay.
like Raw or SmackDown. I forget which, but
Okay.
yeah. So I think that makes sense. Steve Austin and Lesnar at the end, I think makes sense. I think that would be a
Mhm.
cool matchup to see. Um, I mean, other than that, though, I'm calling it now, Leonard.
Mhm.
Benoit is the first out.
Looking at the names, I'm not necessarily against. I'm not necessarily against that. But if Benoit's the first out, then I think Rollins and Edge go immediately after.
Rollins and Edge, not Luger.
Not no, because this Rumble is built for hosses.
Well, that's true. That's
It's
true.
built for big hoss dudes. Now, again, smaller guys have one, yes. But I think a guy like Luger actually would hang out for a while.
Right. Well, you might be right about that. Well, let us know what you thought of my picks. Perhaps I should have ordered them, in terms of like how many times they won the Rumble. I was just kind of going overall, my view,
Mhm.
which is it's okay if it causes some debate out there. So
Sure, that's what we want.
let
Make
us
the
know.
content.
I'm sure I'll have a display up of some sort. So let us know what you would pick out of these guys. I think it would be interesting to hear. So check out our other videos. We're available wherever you listen to podcasts. For Leonard, my name is Chad. We'll see you next time.